Hello, dreamers, doers, and achievers. I'm Tyson, your host, and I invite you to join me on a new adventure called Sharing Success with Tyson. Each week, we dive into the most inspiring stories of individuals who have transformed their dreams into reality. From the entrepreneurs who started from nothing to the artists who see the world differently, we share the journeys that inspire and motivate. Whether you're looking to ignite a long-held passion or find encouragement in your daily grind, Sharing Success with Tyson is your weekly dose of motivation. Together, let's redefine success and achieve the extraordinary. Hey everybody, welcome to episode 2 of the Sharing Success podcast. Our episode today is going to be on mindset and success, the power of positive thinking. I'm super excited to hop into this episode because I've always been somebody who has placed a lot of emphasis on positive thinking. I think that that's a trait that I was lucky enough to learn when I was young, and it's gotten me through some of my darkest times. So I'm very excited to dive on into this. I want to thank you all so much for your support with episode 1. It was so great to interact with people who have listened, and I'm so lucky that I got one download of the episode. So I'm really glad that this resonated with some people, and I'm really excited to see where this little journey of mine goes. I'll touch more on this later, but we are going to have some absolutely amazing guests on starting next episode. So you got me solo for the first 2 episodes, but due to some scheduling stuff. But next few months throughout the summer, we're booked with some really amazing guests. So I'm really excited. So that was a very roundabout way of telling you all thank you. I appreciate the support. I appreciate the listening more than you know. I am not a big creator. I am just trying to do what I love and share that with people. So anybody who's along for the journey, I am grateful for. Let's hop into introducing the topic of this episode. This episode is going to explore the connection between mindset and success and really the power of positive thinking. So before we jump into everything, we want to make sure that we understand the importance of mindset and the impact that it's going to have on your success in life. The Oxford Dictionary states that mindset means the established set of attitudes held by someone. So pick up on that there. Plural. Attitudes. It's not just a singular thought that you have. It's not just a singular frame of mind. It's the collection of your thoughts, your attitudes, your perceptions, okay? And that's important to grasp onto. It's not merely one negative thought that flips through your mind. It's a collection of negative and positive thoughts. Whatever the majority is, that culminates to your mindset. And that's what we're talking about exploring today. I want to touch on one of the main theories regarding mindset. And this is Dr. Carol Dweck. I hope I said that right. She came up with the growth mindset theory. And I want to make sure that we understand the difference between growth mindset and fixed mindset in moving forward. So Dr. Dweck studied the behavior of thousands of children, and she coined those terms: fixed mindset, growth mindset. These terms describe the underlying beliefs that people have about learning and intelligence. So when students believe that they can get smarter, they understand that effort is going to make them stronger. That effort is going to pay off in some way. Therefore, they are going to put extra time and effort, and that's going to lead to higher achievement. That is the concept of growth mindset. You understand that there is the potential there for growth, and so you put the extra effort in, knowing that it's going to pay off. Fixed mindset is the opposite. And fixed mindset is the overall belief that you cannot improve. There is going to be no success, no achievement, no upward growth coming from an increase of your effort. And so you don't try. That is what the fixed mindset is. And Dr. Dweck coined these terms after, like I said, studying the behavior of many children and realizing that there was a pivotal difference between these two ideologies, and that some children had that fixed mindset that I cannot improve, I cannot grow, therefore no effort will be given on my part. And then there was the growth mindset of, well, I think it's going to pay off. If I put in more effort, I'll see more results, so let's try. Now that we've distinguished the differences between those two, let's talk about how a positive mindset can influence success in various aspects of your life. So having a positive mindset, I feel like a lot of people apply it to career or professional growth, but truly this affects all aspects of your life, from your personal life, your academic life, your professional life, relationships that you have, truly everything. The way that you think is who you are. And so the importance of discussing this is real, because it's going to affect all facets of your life. So some examples of the way that positive mindset can influence success is, I'm just going to lay myself out there, where I want to talk about just kind of a recent shift that's happened for me and how that's led me on an upward trajectory. That's such a hard word to say. With me, like I said, I've had the advantage of trying to cultivate a growth mindset throughout my life, trying to really focus on positive thinking. And so I had that advantage on my side. And it wasn't until super recently, I would say maybe the last year or so, that I made that commitment to growth mindset again. Now, mind you, I've always dabbled in personal development and things like that, but there's sometimes where you don't take it seriously enough. You don't realize the impact that your thinking has on your life. And I had like kind of a come to Jesus moment within the last year, and I realized that the way that I think and my mindset truly can change everything for me. And it wasn't until I decided that I was willing to grow in order to reach that success that I had sought after, that I started seeing that success. And the way that looked is, I started I asked myself, what does success look like for me? Right? Just like we talked about in last episode. If you haven't listened to that, go ahead and check that out. We're really talking about kind of setting our vision, defining what success looks like for us. And so it wasn't until I really got clear and I defined that, and I said, okay, what does that look like for me? And then I made the commitment to grow in order to get there. Because if I had a fixed mindset, I would say, okay, I'm here. My goal is clear over that mountain. I can't grow. Even if I put in the extra effort, I'm not going to get there. It's not going to happen. And I could just squash it all right there. But I made the commitment to myself, and I truly do believe that by putting in extra effort and aligning myself with the people and the places that embody success to me, that I will be right there. But I had to put myself in a place that cultivated that growth first. So we've kind of established the basis of mindset and how that plays into success here. Let's chat about the science behind positive thinking. So we're talking about those psychological and those physical benefits that come from positive thinking. There is research that shows that thinking positively can affect you in a really impactful way. From improved mental health, lower stress and cortisol levels, better cardiovascular health, better sleep. There are so many things that positive thinking can do for you. I think that in a society today where we are very focused on health, knowing that a shift in mindset can truly better your health is essential. It's a cornerstone of success, right? You want to be physically healthy. So I do not want to understate the importance of applying positive thinking to your daily life in order to live a healthier life and be a healthier you. With that, I want to talk about how positive thinking can actually rewire your brain. This shift in mindset promotes resilience, it promotes adaptability, and that essentially translates to neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity refers to the brain's ability to reorganize itself by forming new neural connections throughout your life. It allows us to learn, adapt, and change our behavior. Positive thinking plays truly a crucial role in rewiring our brain, influencing those neural pathways responsible for our thoughts and our actions. Positive thinking involves consciously replacing negative thoughts with positive and affirming statements. Something that is key here is that this is incredibly intentional. There is so much effort that goes behind truly trying to rewire the way that your brain works. And it's not something that just happens. You have to be intentional and you have to make that commitment to yourself. When you're intentional about consciously replacing those negative thoughts, it can create new neural pathways that are going to support positive behavior and improve our overall mental health. So truly, positive thinking and making a conscious effort to do so changes our brain physically. It creates new neural pathways. That's insane for me to think about. So if you put it in terms like these, say you're predisposed to have a negative mindset, right? You're predisposed to see that glass half empty and you think that nothing can change that. Over time, if you made the conscious effort to make those positive swaps, so, oh my gosh, the sky looks cloudy, it's going to be a horrible day today, I hate cold weather, to, oh my gosh, the sky's cloudy, we're going to get some rain. I know we've been in a drought and we're going to need that. Oh, I'm so grateful for this rain that's coming. Those positive shifts over time are truly going to change the pathways in your brain. That's insane to think about. So, and I just wanted to throw some science at you to help prove that if you change the way you think, you truly can change not only your life, but yourself physically. Let's talk about positive thinking and performance. So I want to talk about the link between positive thinking and improved performance and productivity. Improved performance and productivity, a lot of people apply this to the workplace, but generally you can apply this to any area that needs intense focus. So parenting, schoolwork, the workplace, even just working out, even just being intentional about the way that you even go about your life. A positive outlook while you're doing these things that you need to focus on, it can increase your motivation, it can increase your creativity, and in turn, your productivity. When you are committed to seeing the bright side of things, when you have an excited outlook on life, it makes you want to go above and beyond. It makes you want to say, yeah, instead of, I've got this project due tomorrow, and so I'm just going to slap some emails and some graphics together and send it to my boss. If you're more inclined to think positively about that, your brain is going to support the creativity in that. Wow, I get to make these graphics. Let me incorporate something that makes me excited about it. It kind of goes back to what we talked about last episode. Part of positive thinking is really trying to turn what you do into things that you love. And in turn, I feel like I'm saying that a lot. And in turn, that's going to put you, because you're in that state of that you're in the zone, you're vibing with whatever you're doing, it's going to put you in more of those instances. If you believe in the law of attraction, that's what I'm referring to there. Like attracts like. If you are in that state of passion, of excitement, of happiness, you're going to attract more of that. The basis of what I was trying to say before I kind of went off on a tangent was, if you're in a positive mental state and you're really reinforcing that can-do attitude, you're more likely to take risks, produce innovative ideas, and tackle the challenges that you need to in a more efficient and productive way. Let's talk about some strategies to cultivate that positive mindset. We've established that it's great to have, that it can help you in all areas of your life. But now we want to talk about how we even make that happen. Something that I cannot stress the importance of is things that you do in your day-to-day. So for me, something that has been insanely beneficial is focusing on gratitude. You can write this down. You can do a gratitude journal. For me, I have a notes app on my phone that I use, or if I don't have access to anything like that, I will just think about things that I'm grateful for. But when you focus on gratitude, when you put yourself in a state of feeling blessed, of feeling abundant, it's like an automatic cheat code to raise your vibrations. It's an automatic way to ensure that you're thinking positively. Nobody is going to have a negative thought when they're thinking about how grateful they are for their furry dog. It just puts you in a position to feel better. And so that's one thing that I invite you to incorporate into your day-to-day is some form of gratitude. And like I said, that can look differently for a lot of people, but it is essential to continuing to cultivate and be intentional about that positive mindset. Another thing is affirmations. So positive statements that are going to combat those negative thoughts. If you have like a signature negative tagline, I know I do, it's almost like a default sometimes. Like as soon as something goes wrong, before you can even give yourself a chance to intentionally think a positive thought, that negative thought's right there. It's ready to go. It's already thought. What you can do here is you can really make sure that you hone in on a few of your negative thoughts that are your go-tos, and then create affirmations that counter that. So that way, when I mess up on something and I tell myself, oh, I can never do anything right. I always mess things up. I hate even saying that. That puts me in a negative space. But if that was my go-to, I would know that I really, really, really need to focus on affirming to myself that I am successful in everything I do because I put all of my effort into that. So whenever you mess up and you're tempted to really turn it into something negative, turn it into a positive affirmation. I am successful at everything I do because I put all that I have into it, and at least I tried. And that's really going to, over time, when that's implemented day to day to day, it's going to help rewire those negative thoughts, change those neural pathways like we talked about before. So before you know it, that negative thought that you typically would default to doesn't even exist anymore. Okay, so now that we've talked about affirmations, let's chat about another practice that you can incorporate into your day-to-day, which is visualization. This is really another one of those cheat codes that is going to put you in a positive mindset in no time. With visualization, what you want to do is you truly want to define what success looks like for you and play it out in your head as if it's already happening to you. So you can do this, you can go to a quiet place, you can do something where you're really intentional about it. But another way to do this is, instead of picturing the end goal, you can also just picture your happy places. So you can, if you're having a bad day, or if you find yourself looping through those negative thoughts and you continue to spiral into those negative thought patterns, you could even just close your eyes, go in the bathroom at work, somewhere where you can escape for a second, hop in the closet away from the kids, and, for 30 seconds, think about being on a beach, think about the waves crashing, think about the sun on your face, think about those things that you love so much about that happy place that you're thrilled to be in. And automatically, you'll notice that your mood shifts. So that's a really great cheat code if you were to be more intentional about it. You can go to a quiet place, and again, you can picture your happy place, or a situation that makes you happy. But ideally, when we're talking about positive thinking and that influencing our success in life, we really want to think about our end goal. One of our big goals, our big, hairy, audacious goals that we love to talk about, one of those and how that's going to feel when you achieve it. And the key to visualization is not to do it half-assed. We want to do this to the nines. We want to make sure that we have our shoes picked out in this visualization. We know exactly what we're wearing. We know exactly who we're talking to. We know what stage we're on. Whatever this looks like for you, I want you to have every little detail planned out. And if this is really hard for you to do, because I know some people, visualization and imagery in their head is really hard for them, hop onto Pinterest. Or you could even make like a Google Photos album and start putting things in there that look like your version of success. And so whenever you get into a negative headspace, instead of, if it's hard for you to visualize, look at that board that you made on Pinterest, or look at that album that you made full of photos, and that will kind of help to jog your imagination while still cultivating those feelings of positivity. So those are 3 habits that you can incorporate into your daily life that can really foster a shift in your mindset. We have focusing on gratitude, we have affirmations, and then we have visualization. So now let's talk about another visualization is a perfect segue into this, but something that truly will change your life is meditation. When a lot of people think about meditation, they think about somebody sitting in a dark room and going and which it can be that. It absolutely can be that. That is a very peaceful state to be in, repeating those mantras. But it doesn't have to look like that for everybody. I'm trying not to discourage you from meditation, because the peace that you find in meditation is worth it, and the practice of meditation looks different for everybody. So meditation is a state that you can get in that just calms your mind. It quiets your thoughts. As somebody with ADHD, I feel like my brain is just full volume all the time. I've got 87 tabs open, and to be able to calm my brain is one of the greatest gifts. The caveat here is you have to be super intentional about meditation. If you have never meditated before, I would suggest that you start out with 3 to 5 minutes a day. Just give yourself that. Dedicate 3 to 5 minutes of your day to yourself and say, okay, I'm going to set a timer on my phone and I'm going to make this happen. If you are technologically inclined, some really great apps for this there's the Insight Timer app and Headspace. I like Insight Timer. That's what I use. But on both apps, there is beginner meditations, there's advanced. Also, if you're a YouTube fan, hopefully some of you are watching this on YouTube, just search in beginner meditation, or you say, okay, I have 10 minutes this morning, 10-minute meditation, and so many different options will pull up. And the great thing about a guided meditation is it takes all of the brain power away from you. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to focus on anything. You just got to listen to the person that's speaking. And when you are able to calm your mind, when you are able to quiet your thoughts, that gives you the capability to redirect your thoughts. So it almost establishes that neutral baseline for you. From there, you can continue to grow your positive thoughts. But being able to control your thoughts in a way like that, in order to get them to quiet down, it's almost like flexing a muscle. that's eventually going to help you to turn those negative thoughts into positive thoughts, because you have been working on flexing your mind muscle. I think a really big part of cultivating a positive mindset, this is going to be kind of the last part of this section that we're talking about, is surrounding yourself with positivity. This is, I dare say, this is one of the most pivotal and impactful parts of a positive mindset. So, a part of that, of surrounding yourself with positivity, is obviously going to be your social circle. This can be, people that you are around every day. This can be your friends. This can be your family. Anybody who you're interacting with frequently. We want to make sure that we are designing our life. We are filling our life with positivity. And I'm not saying go kick your brother out of your life if they're negative. I'm just saying we want to make sure that for the majority of the time, we are surrounding ourselves with people that uplift us. A great way to do that is to go out and find social groups that will put you in a better mood. So this refers back to what we talked about last episode, passions, right? If you are just the biggest fan of bird watching, if that's what lights your soul on fire, guess what? A great way to surround yourself with people that are going to uplift you and keep you positive is to go join a bird watching group. For me, I've really harnessed the power of social media lately. I have been able to get in more of an entrepreneurial and forward-thinking mindset than ever by surrounding myself with groups of people that have the same dreams, the same aspirations as me. Anything that brings you joy or anything that ties into those greater goals, those passions in life, seek out people that are going to support that and help you grow within that. And then another thing is consuming positive media and literature. So I saw this quote not too long ago, and it said something like, healthy diet is more than what you eat. Healthy diet refers to what, who you're surrounding yourself with on social media, who comes up in your feed. It's who you're surrounding yourself with in daily life. It's the books that you read. It's the music that you listen to. And it's referencing the fact that sometimes these outside influences that we don't even realize are affecting our mood can really hinder our mindset. I know for me, if I'm following a lot of people on Instagram who I tend to compare myself to a lot, those the fitness influencers who are always flashing their abs, which good for them, or people that are always trying to cause divisiveness amongst different facets of the population, that can get really heavy really fast. And so I'm really inviting you to look at what you're consuming. So it might be time to go through your Facebook friends. If somebody's always super negative and, you read their posts and you're like, man, this lady is just, I keep trying to help her. She's such a downer. Maybe it's time to reevaluate that friendship. You are listening to music that you realize automatically makes you angry. I mean, there's a time and place for that. It might be a great workout motivator. But day in and day out, if you're listening to that music all the time, is it going to put you in a mindset that is going to be positive? If you're listening to it all the time, probably not. That's just me, though. Consuming positive literature and media definitely has to be intentional on your part. So let's talk about overcoming obstacles and maintaining a positive mindset, because we all know that in the real world, 24/7 cannot be all rainbows and glitter. We know that stuff comes up and sometimes stuff's really heavy. So let's chat about how to go about that. When you face a challenge, it's really important that you figure out how to stay positive and resilient through that. that in and of itself is a skill set that you can carry throughout the rest of your life, and it will benefit you greatly. Something that is going to help when you face a challenge is you want to define your why. So if something comes up and it's really knocked you off your feet in life, you feel really discouraged, you feel hopeless, at that point, ask yourself why. Why am I doing what I do? What gets me up in the morning? What keeps me going every day? It could be your family. It could be, your kids. It could be you love what you do at work. It could be other things that you do that make a difference in the lives of other people. It could be you love going to school and you love learning. There's so many different things that could be your why, and your why doesn't have to be one thing in particular. It can be a culmination of many things, but the important thing is you remind yourself why you keep going, okay? Why it's important to get through this challenge, to overcome it, and to come out on top. The other thing is, kind of like we talked about before, we want to figure out these emotional cheat codes that can really help to uplift our mood really quickly. Sometimes, you're just having a bad day and you don't know why, you don't know what's going on. It's really important to have a toolkit of different strategies you can use to uplift your mood in a hurry. One of my favorites, just because I'm a very imaginative person, is visualization. I love to just take a little time out for 5 minutes and picture myself at the beach, or picture myself with, really great friends, whatever that looks like. Just picture myself having a good time, or picture that big, hairy, audacious goal coming to fruition, right? Because it's going to. So I'm just setting myself up for that. That's a really good cheat code, is visualization. Another thing is movement. Movement is a catalyst to overall feeling better. The physical movement of your body can really help to realign and shift your energy into something more positive. We know that us as humans, it is proven, it is a scientific fact that we are all made of tiny little molecules and atoms. But we know that at some molecular level, humans are energy. So when we're able to shake that up, when we're able to move that energy, that stagnant, nasty energy around a little bit, it really helps to shift our mindset. So sometimes for me, this is putting on a real good jam and just dancing, right? Just letting it all out. That could also look like, getting a workout in, going for a run. If you have kids, taking them to the playground and playing with them. It could look like taking your dogs out, or whatever pet you have, taking the iguana for a walk. Something to get that stagnant energy out. The last one I'm going to touch on just briefly again is gratitude. When you start putting yourself in that abundance mindset again, and you start saying, wow, I really am super blessed. I have all these things that, I have a roof over my head. I've got a job. I've got water. I have, all of these things that I just take for granted. I feel so blessed. Even just saying that right now, physically, I'm I can feel myself becoming happier. It really is. It's a really good cheat code to have in your tool belt. So those are some things that when you encounter a setback, when you encounter a challenge, and you're feeling really hopeless, hopefully turning to one of those things can improve your mindset, because we know that the longer that we can have a positive mindset throughout our life, the more it's going to help us achieve our goals, the more it's going to help us be happier, and it's just overall, it feels better to be positive than it does to be negative. Let's touch on some common pitfalls. So we want to recognize, and once we recognize, we want to try to get in the habit of avoiding negative self-talk and negative beliefs. So Medium.com says, negative self-talk, often driven by self-doubt, criticism, or fear because of trauma, can hinder personal growth and lead to a cycle of negativity. when we repeatedly tell ourselves negative statements like I can't do it or I'm not good enough, our brain starts to believe those messages, reinforcing negative neural pathways. This thought pattern can decrease self-esteem, motivation, and overall well-being. And I could not agree more. Just how we talked about the neuroplasticity and how positive thinking can absolutely rewire your brain, negative thinking can do the same thing. And so we really want to make sure that we're catching ourselves when we're in that spiral of negativity and just feeling low. And if we can catch ourselves and if we can rewire that so it's positive, it'll have such a profound impact on our health, on our brain, and our overall life. And I understand as I'm saying this that a lot of this seems much easier than it is. Trust me, I absolutely understand that. What I want to emphasize here is the power of small changes. If you can catch one negative thought in its tracks a day, that is absolutely going to add up over time. And before you know it, you're going to be catching negative thoughts before they even happen. You're going to already have a positive affirmation in its place. And that is my hope for all of you. And that is the hope for myself. I want us all to be in the best place that we can be. I also want to emphasize, too, the importance of just lifelong learning and personal development. We talked about cheat codes a little earlier, and we talked about making sure that the things that you are ingesting, social media, literature, it's putting you in the right frame of mind. And this comes back to like that continuous growth. We want to make sure that as much as possible, we are taking in things that uplift us. So I want to talk about personal development for a second. Obviously, if you're listening to this podcast, you're probably a fan of personal development, and I love that for you. That's amazing. Good job. I want to continue to encourage you to do things that cultivate personal development and lifelong learning. If you're naturally a learner, please lean into that. That's going to foster more positive thinking because you're going to be in that state of alignment more. If you're not like a natural learner, personal development, it's great for anybody, but especially for people who don't like the act of physically and intentionally taking in a lot of knowledge, because sometimes that can seem really overwhelming. And the great thing about where we're at today in society is a lot of podcasts, a lot of books, a lot of these things are so much fun to take in. It doesn't even feel like we're learning. And so I invite you to lean into that. I'm going to give you some suggestions, some podcasts if you're a podcast listener of personal development. I love Ed Milet's podcast. He often has some really great guest speakers on there that are super uplifting. One that I listen to almost every day as soon as a new episode comes out a few times a week is Rob Dial. He has a podcast called The Mindset Mentor, and they're just quick ones, maybe 15 minutes, but that's an absolute way to turn my mood up. He talks about a lot of personal development, achieving success, ways to hack your thinking, and it's an overall great podcast to listen to. There's another good podcast, the Manifestation Babe podcast. She focuses a lot on manifesting the life of your dreams, and that's an awesome one. Those are some of my favorite podcasts. Those are some things that kind of keep me in the zone, keep me motivated. Sometimes I like to go on those YouTube channels where it's just like a motivational pep talk. You just type in like motivational speech and something with Denzel Washington will pop up and a picture of like, or a video of somebody like working out. It just gets you pumped up about life, you know? In conclusion, we've talked about a lot of things today. I think I just really want to emphasize the importance of keeping yourself in a positive mindset as much as possible. I know it's not doable all day, every day, but if we can just make those small changes, they're going to add up. We learned today that positive mindset can affect your health. It can literally change the neural pathways in your brain. It can overall make you happier, and it can take you closer to achieving success in the life of your dreams if you really commit to being intentional about your thoughts. I encourage you all to apply the strategies that we talked about today. really think about that toolkit, those things that you can do to raise your vibration, to help you think positively in a pinch. I feel like I should trademark that sentence. Positivity in a pinch. Those things that you can fall back on when you need something quickly to uplift your mood. Also, I'm very excited about our next episode. We are going to have our first guest. Our first guest is Amber Bride. She is a fighter, she's a mother, she's a philanthropist, and she's a lifelong learner. She's going to share her ongoing journey of success with us, and she has been in recovery for over 5 years. She is a certified peer support specialist and an active member of several recovery nonprofits. She aims to help break the addiction stigma and bring light and hope to others by letting people know that there's many different ways that you can achieve success. And I am so excited to have her on and to hear her story. I invite all of you to share your thoughts, share your experiences with me. If this resonated with you, let me know. You can find me on Instagram at Tyson, TYSEN.Kraeger, CREAGER. And you can chat with me there. You can also email me at sharingsuccesspod@gmail.com. I will put my email and the website to the podcast and everything in the description notes. And I want to remind you guys, please subscribe. Please subscribe to the podcast if you are listening on Apple Music, Spotify, or YouTube. Please subscribe to the channel and the podcast. It means the world to me. It means that I am able to continue to produce the content that I do and that we're able to have more amazing guests on here, which really excites me. If you guys can, please leave a review for the podcast. That also kind of helps to boost me in the algorithm a bit. And share it with friends, family, people who might find value in it. Please share it. If you have thoughts, comment, or like I said, message me, email me. I appreciate the support thus far. I really do. And like I said, I will leave all of the links that you are going to need down in the description notes. If you feel like anybody would be a great fit for this podcast, or if you feel like you yourself would be a good fit, please click the link in the description notes to the podcast application. And that's about it for today. I really want to thank you guys for tuning in today. And as always, keep striving, keep sharing, keep succeeding. Thanks, guys.